ever sent someone a message, and then they didn't reply? 10 minutes pass, then 30, then an hour. At first you think, they're probably busy. But slowly your thoughts begin to change. Did I say something wrong? Maybe they're upset with me. What if I offended them? What if they don't want to talk to me anymore? Without realizing it, your mind has created an entire story from one unanswered message. Sound familiar? If yes, you are not alone. Today, let's understand what actually happens inside the brain when we overthink, and why our mind often creates problems that don't even exist. Let's imagine Rahul. Rahul sends his close friend a message. Can we talk this evening? Normally, his friend replies within 15 minutes. Today, nothing. 30 minutes pass. Rahul checks his phone again. Still no reply. His mind starts asking questions. Maybe they're in a meeting. Reasonable. 5 minutes later. But they usually reply during meetings. Another thought appears. Maybe they're angry with me. Now Rahul remembers a small joke he made yesterday. Perhaps I hurt their feelings. A few minutes later, he's replaying every conversation they've had over the last week. He's checking when they were last online, looking at old messages, trying to find clues. By evening, Rahul has imagined an argument that never happened. He feels anxious. His heart beats faster. He can't focus on work. Then, his phone vibrates. His friend replies, "Sorry, my phone battery died." Nothing was wrong. Everything Rahul worried about existed only inside his own mind. So, why did his brain do that? Our brain has one important job: to keep us safe. Thousands of years ago, assuming danger quickly helped humans survive. If our ancestors heard rustling in the bushes, it was safer to assume there might be a predator than to ignore it. Even today, our brains are biased toward detecting possible threats. The problem is, modern life is filled with uncertainty rather than wild animals. Someone doesn't reply. A colleague looks serious. Your boss says, "Can we talk tomorrow?" Your brain doesn't like uncertainty. It wants answers immediately. When answers aren't available, it begins creating possibilities. Unfortunately, it often creates the worst ones first. This isn't because you are weak. It isn't because you are negative. It's because the brain prefers a false alarm over missing a potential threat. Here's where the real problem begins. One worrying thought creates anxiety. That anxiety makes your brain search for more explanations. Those explanations create even more anxiety, which leads to even more thinking. It becomes a cycle. A situation creates a thought. The thought creates anxiety. The anxiety creates more thoughts. Those thoughts increase anxiety again. The more you think, the more convincing those thoughts begin to feel. Notice something important. The situation hasn't changed. Only your interpretation has. Imagine you are waiting for medical test results. You feel completely fine. But while waiting, your mind begins searching online, reading stories, comparing symptoms, imagining worst-case scenarios. Hours later, you are emotionally exhausted. Yet, nothing has actually changed. The report hasn't even arrived. Again, it's uncertainty, not reality, that's driving the anxiety. The goal isn't to stop thinking. Thinking helps us solve problems. Overthinking happens when our mind keeps searching for certainty that simply isn't available. Here are 3 simple questions that can help. First, ask yourself, what facts do I actually know? Not assumptions, only facts. For example, the message hasn't been answered. That's a fact. They must be angry. That's an assumption. Second, ask, are there other possible explanations? Maybe they're driving. Maybe they're busy. Maybe their phone battery died. Your brain naturally focuses on one explanation. Remind yourself there are many. Third, if the situation isn't urgent, give yourself permission to wait. Sometimes the best response to uncertainty isn't more thinking. It's allowing time for more information to arrive. Overthinking doesn't happen because your brain is broken. It happens because your brain is trying to protect you from uncertainty. The problem is, it often mistakes uncertainty for danger. The next time you notice yourself creating stories in your mind, pause. Ask yourself, what do I actually know? You may discover that your mind has been filling in blanks that reality never did. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who tends to overthink. And if you'd like more evidence-based videos on anxiety, mental health, and emotional well-being, consider subscribing. Take care of your mind and be kind to yourself. See you in the next video.